Thank you for Skill Desire to be the part of this session on business analytics. So, good evening to all to the part of the today's session and make sure that how the business analytics take its existence into the role of today's industrial application. So, first I'll introduce myself, Ganesh Avasist. I'm working as an associate professor and into the technical as well as non-technical teaching field from past 6 to 8 years. So today I have with the business analytics model, why the necessity of the topic which has been intended called as business analytics has coined in today's condition. See, you have a lot of opportunities into the career existence. You have studied it, depends on what the course which you have taken. It might be the commerce or it might be the management or engineering or medical field. But derived state of condition is that how far you can sustain once you qualify your graduation as a big mark in today's condition. So, in order to phase out the new derivative expressions of your qualifications or skills or knowledge about what you have learned during the course of your undergraduate or a postgraduate program which you have pursued or which you have qualified, the major thing is you need to cope up with the today's condition, what is required in today's necessity of deriving your expression into the platform of working industrial application. So we have come out with a new venture called as a topic which is existing in today's emerging market called as business analytics. This business analytics has made a tremendous impact in the field of industrial operation. But since it is a new state of scope of expression which has been intended in the market segment, the analytical, logicals, and skills are necessarily required in order to phase out the different phases of business analytics model. So once you qualify with whatever the stream which you have chosen for your undergraduate program and qualified with your necessary of stances, this analytics has made its tremendous impact in learning about the future outcomes and the prospects of business and industrial application. That's the reason the first slide I've posted called as basically what is about a business analytics. See, now everybody has a question mark. It might be whatever the graduation which you have completed, whatever the source of content which you have done, or you have qualified with so many technical, non-technical, commerce, management, engineering, medical degree which you have been qualified into. A number of N plus 1 degrees or N plus 1 qualification in different streams you have qualified. But how far you are able to cope up into the working industrial application stages a major role into the desired condition. So that's the reason the phases of world and global expansion has termed a coin called as business analytics and new emerging era. So to choose your career path, today's title is about choosing your career path by using a term called as business analytics. There are a number of jobs, a number of roles, a number of companies, a number of organization, or a number of different application business models are there existing in today's world. But how far you're able to derive your skills of accountability in order to take its resolution and take its credibility to bring it into action as a major tremendous fact which is happening in today's condition. In that way, business analytics is the major trend which is happening in today's condition, which was derived under around 2 years back. And today it has got its at the most 100% efficient state of existence in different state of all the streams which all the undergraduate or postgraduate courses which has been done, and this business analytics is playing its emerging role in today's condition. So this business analytics basically derives. Posted a slide here, first slide into that. You can link into that. You can just read, or once you read, and I'm going to explain about how this in the business analytics has made a tremendous impact into the condition. So basically, this business analytics has created an operation features how you are able to systematically develop the process for the business model. So there are certain statistical applications or the analyzing the data in order to improve your strategic decision. You are able to make out the differences and generate your own process of models which is required for business application. So business analytics has made a tremendous impact and choosing a different streams of qualifications or the necessity skills which is derived in order to take out and to workforce in an action of different industrial application. So it has made a discovery, it has made its state of analytical expression, it has bought its 100% state of efficiency in order to predict the outcomes and bringing a solution while making a decision in all phases of business operation. So I have marked the real world how business analytics is working in today's condition. So it is about a growing sales. It might be growing sales, or it might be the marketing strategies, or it might be the predictive analytics, or improving your financial efficiency or productivity of streamlined forces. Business analytics has made a different sorts of people to enter into the market by grooming career opportunities in different fields. That's the reason business analytics has emerged in today's condition, how, when, and what it can be adopted in different phenomenological expression to bring out the changes for the business environment. See, if I take an example of Reliance, or if I take an example of TCS or an Infosys, or if I come to an hospital industry, I will take an example of a hospital industries of Fortis. Fortis Industries has come into the existence where the public issue or the limited company expansion. Why they are able to do that? It is about the business application, what they have derived in order to bring the efficiency in a productive manner. It's not about only I take an example of IT industries or a medical industries. All the phases of different industrial applications has made its impact to bring out its flow of operation to meet its objectives into the desired stance of accepting the new things which is coming into the era of modern era, technical era called as business process of dynamic segmentation. So in order to bring out the new phases of channelization, this analytics has brought its existence and credibility to facilitate the business operation in different fields. So the basic thing when you enter into the market, when you start with your career, you should be well versed in what is happening in current condition. You cannot go back to 50 years or 60 years back, how the model was there, and you cannot implement that. I know the 50 years back thing, then I will get into the career path or job which you are looking into. Whenever you enter into the market phase of getting into an organization or starting with your own business or all the business application which comes into the state, it is the necessity or the derived condition, what is happening, what is required in today's condition to choose your career path is a major thing. In that, business analytics is the major thing which has derived its expression to choose and given employment opportunity throughout the globe in different areas and different perspectives to get a growth into the business dynamics. That is called as real world, how this analytics has coined with a term called as business, and business has phased out a lot of operation features in order to bring the growth in all the phases of industrial operation. So business analytics gives you the overall expression, what is required to the today's condition and how well you can fetch the opportunities which is coming into the market segment. Next is about how this business analytics is staged on. See, we speak about data mining, data application, data summarization, business, all those things. It is very easy to float and we can easily speak on it. But how well it is contended, how well it is having its own capitalization in order to bring its views and thought process to get into the market condition. So I have mentioned, see, I have posted on second slide. I've moved to the second slide about data insights and data which has been bound to be into the condition of business analytics model. So if I take as a RHS side about a customer's business environment, suppliers, partners, government, and LHS stage on research, development, production, operation, marketing, and finance accounting, it has made its impact to bring out the state of application, which makes you to get into the various application of fields which has made its existence to take its role into the state of action. So whatever the department condition of industry which has been profounded, it makes a professional state of employment and how well you are able to wish to get into the career growth of defining your moral representation into the business dynamics. Suppose if I take an example of customers, business environment, suppliers, and partners, these are called as the marketing phenomena, which comes into the part of your sales maximization, growth, retail industry, or the overall application which has been intended in marketing terminologies, how this business analytics is moving into. So if you want to design a company which advertisement has been taken into the consideration that you have a so-and-so products and services, how to reach the customers or consumers. But it is, we tremendously say that we will post an advertisement, people will grab the attraction and will sell the products and services. It is not that. It is what is called as a traditional old method which was happening into the condition. But this business analytics has created a view state of application to bot its existence in creating a value for your business environment. That's the reason I will coin an example that you know that example which I coin now is about your Amazon or Flipkart. They bought the existence of the business analytical model. They were the first service representation which Amazon or Flipkart made into existence of virtual space of doing the transaction with respect to selling their products and services in digital mode. That is called as analytics. That is called as an expression which has made them to derive to sell their products and services via online platform. So the thought process or thinking process, the founder of that company called as Amazon or Flipkart has made its impact in thinking the logical expression to derive the opportunities for the consumers, for the suppliers, for the partners, for the part of the government policies that is called as an internal and external agency, which has been intended to wholly clearly define your business model via doing a transaction through online base. That logical expression to shift that is called as a paradigm shift of traditional marketing and link it to the phase of online portal by selling the products and services and giving an equitable response into the market condition as the analytical expression which Amazon or Flipkart did. So how well you think, how well you perform your logical expression in order to derive the condition to bring out the changes into the market condition stage on a term called as analytical expression, which is tremendously impacted in order to give an association to bring out the new phases of business dynamics. Similarly, when it comes to the LHS side about a research, development, and production operation, whenever the new phase of coin things happens into the market condition, there will be a research. When a new phase comes into action, there is the development. Definitely, production, operation, marketing, or finance, accounting as a part and parcel of any business, all the areas will start functioning into the new world of environment, which has its own expression to derive its condition to the state of expression to the business model. That's the reason whichever the area which an operation of industry expectations or industrial process goes on, all the areas this business analytics has phased its position to suit the different department operation which is happening in across the globe. If you take an industrial application of production of an automobile industry, say take an example of a Maruti car company. how far business analytics comes into existence. Tomorrow you get a job, you have qualified with the graduation or post graduation which suits for you the position to work in a Maruti industry. How you are able to phase out your business analytical model into that? It is about the logical thinking which you can make the organization changes and different department development, and how you can coin your features in bringing out your thinking stability to bring a dynamic state of expansion what the company is looking into. So the new models of cars which come into the market, it doesn't come as it is into the existence. Like as I take an example of Maruti car company, it might be the design engineer, it might be the production engineer, it might be the business model which they have, or the business objectives, or it might be the overall expression which has been intended to derive the model called as a car with the new emerging trend which is coming into the market. They should be having that forethought process that how it has to be done, how it takes into existence, how it can be put across into the face of market. So all areas of conditionizing the business model has been coined with one term called as emerging term called as business analytics. So each and every area, it goes like a chain of train, how it moves into the condition one after the other. It automatically takes its expression and attaching all the departments of business activity which is going into the state of expression, and how well it is linked to take its existence into the business model. That's the reason the emerging state of dynamic application has created a forethought process to bring out the new emerging stances into the business analytical model. Earlier, like 10 years or 15 years, it was only into the phase of departmental activities or department screening the process, or only it was with respect to the objective or vision mission of the business. Now it is not only to the vision mission of business, it has brought its existence throughout the creating a link form in order to bring out the emerging models into the derived state of condition. That is the main advantage or an exposure to choose a path in a career objective of business analytics. See, these are the few models which I have put across into. There are so many features which comes into existence called as a business information intelligence, business statistical intelligence, or business model intelligence. So if you take an example of an enterprise system, it consists of all the thing which the enterprise is looking into. See, there is a lot of difference between enterprise, a company, and an organization. All these three are different senses. You cannot say all these things are very compact in thing, and you cannot use it into the state of one unidirectional force of action. So when you take an enterprise system, how the data must take its existence, how you need to compile the database, how you need to grab the data, how you are able to compactly design your modeling process or supply chain or Six Sigma. That is, the Six Sigma application was a major thing. It is required for any state of business action to take its views and thought process into action. Econometrics, about related to all your financial transaction, the graphical representation to the economic scales, and basic statistics. That is about the basic calculation, how much you invest, how much the process cost, and how much you are able to take its action into the view. It is very simple to say. I'm saying like that is a very simple statistics, I'll say. But bringing it to the reality as a major thing that you should be having that skill of representation. Then only it is very easy to bring out your programming stances which is involved into the phases of business model. So all this three states called as business statistical intelligence or business modeling intelligence or business information intelligence, it is about the features or how well you can think on the model representation of business environment, and how well you can create your opportunities in order to bring out with the changes impact. So if I will coin an example now. Suppose a person is working in Infosys company as a programmer. Just take it as an example. You are a programmer head. you're working in some programming states of what Infosys has coined you the good job, and you're working as a project manager under different stances of Infosys company. To debug that program or to take the data which Infosys company is giving, you should be having sufficient knowledge how to coin those application into that. Simply programming comes each and every time you start taking its trial and error version and start bringing out with the output form. It is not like that. See, when you're working for an organization, you are called as an asset for the organization. What happens? It is a continuous phase of run process which will be happening. If you do a mistake while doing the functional application, it is lost to the organization because the organization will be banking on what you are able to cater to the stance of business model. So in order to overcome all those mistakes or errors which is happening, you should be having a sufficient state of application mind to work on the thought process with the minimum time, how well you can bring out the changes to the application which that particular programming stance is required into. So that comes only with your skill, that comes only with your application of mind and logical expression which you have on that particular phase of action which the particular business is going on into. So all these features of intelligence application depends on how adaptively you take your extensive wide stage of application to derive your business model. So why at stance this analytics is important? There are three stages of application which comes into state of a extension, that is about reactive, proactive. But the thing is about third is about the process when which is brought into the existence. So reactive is about how well you can categorize your intelligence model, providing the standard state of business notations on reports and how you can bring out with the notifications which this business operation is having into. That is called as an alerts, or you call it as a piece of information channel which it is required, and how you gather the pieces of data or production, or how you can maximize the profitability state into the state of business application which is happening into. This is the major thing of reactive approach. See, any organization when you join for a workforce action, they always think on it's not only about to the productivity to the financial assessment, it is about to the overall conditionizing your business ventures of project which that particular business is happening into. Tomorrow, if you start with your own startup company also, you should be having a sufficient state of knowledge to take it into the state of succession. It's not about you invest 10 lakh rupees, I'll gain 15 lakh rupees. That is the common objective of all business operation. But the thing is, how you to achieve that 15 lakh rupees by investing 10 lakh rupees is a major question mark. So it's not about you sell the products, you bring out with the new ventures, you have a tie-up with someone. It's not like that. It is about the how well you derive your conditions and bringing your own thinking ability to bring its action into the use and thought process of existence. Last session which I took, I said about an example of Geo. How after before Geo used to come into the market stance, best example for reactive and proactive stance is all the it was internet. The term called as internet was very highly expensive into the market. Of course, in today's condition also, it is moderately expensive. You can say it as a moderately expensive. But Jio, Reliance company, what they made, they started launching internet facility of 4G or 3G or 2G for minimum called as 300 or 400 rupees, which never you could see into the market condition. Earlier, it was internet was a highly expensive state. If you take 10 years, 15 years back, if you want to use 1 GB of BSNL internet facility, it is highly expensive cost. But the reactive and proactive state of mind, taking a proactive decision to bring out with a big state of application in order to phase out the business model, the mining state of how Reliance thought its existence. It's not that they have gone under the loss. It's not about the loss, but it is about how well they can establish their views and thought process into the attaining the gasping state of customers model or consumers or the people models into use it from a product called as Geo. The minimum amount of 400 rupees made an impact of peoples to take its views and thought process to purchase a product called as geo. That is called as analytical model, analytical thinking, logical expression. With the minimum state, you are able to target with the crores of peoples, which is intended in order to use your platform of a business application, which you have brought it into existence and desired condition. So the overall expression why this is important is it grooms you to take out with the career opportunities to bring out the necessary things which is required to think your logical expressions and how well you can bring out your phases for what you are looking into the digital stage of application which is required for a business model. Not only it's about a geo, I said about Amazon, Flipkart, or Big Basket. See, if we are not able to do into those conditions, someone is doing. See, if you take 100 people as an example in this tens of coin, out of 100, all 100 won't be into the same pieces of index. If I take an example of a hand, all 5 fingers are not equally distributed. So it depends on how you analytically think and give an importance to what you wanted to achieve in the state of expression by deriving a career base in order to strengthen your maximum state of efforts and skill which is required to bring out with the future upcoming changes into the market condition. So to groom that this particular state of skill which is happening in today's condition called as emerging digital analytics has made its importance to take out the reactive and proactive state of behavior nature which is necessarily required for today's condition. So that's the reason it is very, very important in order to bring out the new phases of adaptability, new phases of bringing an opportunity, and new phases of taking its developmental process into the condition of industrial process. Always make sure about that industry, business, operation, it is always 100% tagged into the stances. How well you can get into the industry depends on the skill which you have its credibility to take its action into the force of condition. Next is about these are the three conditions which adoption of business analytics is having in manufacturing. Tomorrow you may get an opportunity, as I said, n plus n opportunities are there. You can go to manufacturing industry, you can go to a biomedical industry, you can go to management, you can go to technical, non-technical features which comes into existence. Even today, they are saying the term called as 5G has come into the market. Another 3-4 months, 5G internet will be coming into the market. Why? Because it's not, oh, 5G market is coming, we will just shift it to the 5G market condition. It's not like that. The back end process is about your analytical expression. See, all the phases of telecommunication industry has a mindset called as business model. They will be achieving their business state of model in telecommunication industry. There are set of people who is working for that particular all telecommunication industries called as Airtel, Idea, Vodafone, or Reliance, or N plus one companies which is there in our country, or it might be the world expansion of global market. Tomorrow, after you have a derived expression of logical thinking and deriving your own views and thought process in business analytics, you have an broad approach also to take its views and thought process into the derived state of condition. How just how Google CEOs of Sundaram Pichai of our country is working in Google. It is because about the overall features, how adaptability is having in the field of technical as well as non-technical field, and how well he can coin its features into bring out with the Google to the greater state of extension. So adoption of business analytics and manufacturing stage on your technology readiness or characteristics, how to derive your technology aspects. See, earlier 30 years, 20 years back, if you want to derive your business model, it was just simple. You invest, and as I said, if you invest 10 lakhs, you have to gain 15 lakhs is your particular model. Now your business model is completely changed. Let us, you have to adopt to the society aspects. You need to adopt to the external and internal environment, and all the features which is happening in emerging market conditions also has to be involved. Tomorrow you start with your own company. Suppose they say, if I take an example of manufacturing, tomorrow you start with your food industry. It's not only about a machinery or you have an asset or a land and establish your thing. You need to tag with the suppliers. You need to tag with the retail industry market or a wholesale industry market. You need to adopt the technical features to operate your machines. You need to adopt the technical qualified people to work on your industry. So all this context of deriving different states of departmental functions has to be derived when you set up and manufacturing industry. It might be with the culture, it might be the financial resources or functional communication or executive environment in order to face the technical competencies. In today's condition, how well you can flip flop, you can use your technical state of mindset. Technical, don't think an assumption that technical is something which is studious and which is having its own crave and curves into the market condition. It is as simple as that. It is your thinking ability which you have your own skill to bring out with the changes process of thought existence into the real world. That is called as simple world, called as technical is that. Or a non-technical is that which is not our part. I'm an what you call it as I'm a BCom graduate, I'm an MBA graduate, I don't know anything about technical. There are n number of people with a commerce or a management stances working in technical field. How? Because it is their mindset of application to bring out with the thought process of existence called as a skill, which they can deliver the things in and project it into the different states of application. That's the reason adoption of business analytics and upcoming growth of manufacturing has made its impact to bring out with the necessary changes into the desired state of market conditions. Next is about there are three pillars for this business analytics approach is about a people, process, and technology. One thing is bound to be that people as an investing state. So it might be ensuring your people into the different departments, as I said about the first tense about or collaborating your experience with the fast workflows. So any departmental objective or a function which is happening in an organization, people will be the base where you call it as an HR, human resource management comes into existence, or if you take as a sales growth and productivity approach, marketing tends come into existence. So whatever the process of action which takes its existence into establish the process, you will be able to be intended in the part of process system which makes you to practice the acting on ideas and views which is brought into the standard state of application model. So technology gives you the widespread of ability to make a smart decision. As I said about a term called as technology, technology is not a Greek or Latin. It's a basic sense that, as I've mentioned in the pillar three, this analytics pillar, it is about your decision state, how faster you think and bring its insight of action with the course of what it has to be taken into the timeline. That is called as very much important called as technology. See, if you purchase a mobile phone, just if I will coin one example now. If you purchase newly have purchased an Apple mobile phone worth around 1 lakh rupees, just take it as an example. Without knowing, nobody will read the user manual. I'm damn sure that nobody will read the new user manual which once you purchase that Apple phone. What happens is by just scrolling it, you'll see the features, what are the contents, what are the different options which you have. But within a flip flop of seconds, within maximum as 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you'll get visualized by using the features which is Apple phone which you have purchased into. Why it is because your mind is saying to get it into adaptability and use it in a proper stance. Within a flip flop, you are able to capitalize how this Apple phone which you have bought for 1 lakh rupees and what are the features which is intense without knowing the manual or what is that you are able to use it into the derived state of condition. That is, your thought process has made it into existence to bring out with the action to use that particular phone called as Apple phone. So this is about your mindset, your skill, and how you can groom its existence to derivative expression on what you are looking into the face of representation on desired state of stances. So these are the major pillars of digital analytics is about a people, process, and technology, which is a part and parcel of whole circumferences which business analytics is having its own views and motives to take its action into the census. So next is about why just choose a career in analytics. As I said about the 2018 model, Amazon and Flipkart bought its existence by in the year 2018. So 3 million big data jobs were available to fill up with the 2018 model by using a term called as analytics. The skill gap was 40% and 85% of 500 state of organization across the globe has able to effectively take its existence. There they say that exploit with the big data was happened in the 2015, but they are able to earn the big career paychecks, and even many of what the thing which they love the organization has made it take it into the condition to boost the emerging trends which is happening into the condition. According to the 2021, there is no hardly 5% or 10% gap has been found in using an analytical expression of model. How to choose a career and how to take its existence has projected its growth of application in adopting the new favorable things into the market condition. So all these states are labeled in order to bring out with the new state of application model and how you can phase out with the new phases of business which is happening in today's condition. So all the data or the data expression or the business views and thought process has made its views and bringing out its expression into the derived condition by taking a career phase called as analytical business model, which an individual can take its view thought process to bring out the changes into the market environment. So there are certain applications of business ethics in choosing a career path also. So this is a major thing which comes into existence. So business analytics is helping for a supply chain management, for an inventory management, measuring the performances, as I said about HR, marketing senses, about targeting your thing, risk mitigation plans, improving your efficiency in the basic sense of product data. So all this iterative methodological explorations of organization data has emphasis on statistical application in making the company's decision towards the phases of new eras in another 1 decade. So another 10 years, the boom or the expression with respect to the data application or business analytics, taking its views to a start process on data-driven process, all the features which happens in department areas of n number of business departments which is happening in today's conditions, all are required with a new application which has been updated with that. Then only there is a sustainability, then only there will be a productivity, and then only you are able to achieve your thought process which that application has taken into consideration. In order to phase out the new phases of expressions, definitely to choose your career path, it might be any stage of application. As I said about different stages of undergraduate and postgraduate qualification which individual is having, where you are able to suit it as a big question mark. That's the reason I say. So tomorrow, a software engineer, he wants to work in an IT company. It is not so easy that just you go into the IT industry and get a job into that. It is not about choosing a career that you want to work in an IT industry. It is how well you have an application state of mind and a logical expression which you can bring your force of existence to bring out the necessary changes with that particular business called as IT company is working. Tomorrow you want to work in a biomedical engineering department. Today I will take an example of your COVID thing which has happened. Within 1 year, they have developed a vaccination for COVID. That developing a vaccination is an analytical expression of model. Developing a term called as a vaccination for a COVID, that is an analytical expression, how fast you can deliver the things and how fast you can derive a solution for that biomedical state of expression which has happened into the condition, that is called as analytical expression. So if you work at a department of marketing, so you should be able to cope up how to maximize the sales, how to generate a revenue, how to generate a profit maximization, how to bring out with the chain management, how to bring out with the retail industrial applications. You're working in some other market distribution company with supply chain and logistics. You're working in an automobile industry. So what is the necessity of that organization of business to take it into your sense into consideration depends on your skill, your ability, and how well you are able to make out by the thought process of existence and bring out the necessary changes, which are the expectation. Major is about expectation, what the company or the organization or the business is looking into the desired state of achieving their objective of expression. Always it happens, right? There should be a dynamic process cycle which is required into the existence of society. You are stagnant, nothing in is take it into the credibility of index. You cannot sustain into the market stance. So you should be able to develop your own state of ability, which has its views and thought process to get into the state of application, which the model representation of business model is happening. So as I said about an industry or a company or an organization or business enterprise which takes its views and thought process, major is your skills, which takes its existence, and that's the reason the most efficient, how to identify a most efficient worker as an HR thing. It is about your ability and skill which you can cater to the particular phase of operation which is happening in industrial output. So every areas, this analytics has derived its own thought process, views, and expressions in order to bring out its necessary phases of actions and how well you can take it, choose your career path in different areas of industrial expression. That is the major thing. This business analytics has made its tremendous impact in order to phase out the positioning with the all departmental features which the business is looking for. See, earlier what happens is if you take an example of analysis, what analysis? It depends on individual state of departmental features. Somebody may take that analysis, somebody may not take. Whereas business analytics has made it choosing its career objective, and it has accommodated its phases in different agenda or different departmental objectives. So everybody are necessarily to take its views and thought process, since it has got its existence in a 100% efficiency in order to bring out the changes to the market condition. That's the reason business analytics has made a tremendous impact as application of business model, and industrial growth has happened, is happening into the desired state of stances and sustaining its process into the state of existence. That is the major thing by choosing a term called as business analytics, which is necessarily required to take its views and thought process in today's condition. So by this, I have given an input as an exposure why this business analytics has taken its views and thought process into the current condition. So fine, I've completed my slides. So main thing is I want all of you to ask questions on this part. I'm ready for question and answers. You can put me into the chat box also. If you have any doubts, it might be the minor or a major doubt which you have, why you need to choose a business analytics. I'm open for the discussion. You can ask me now. Am I audible? As everyone is able to listen?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Guys, if you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and can ask directly, or you can put in chat section. So I will answer your doubts and queries.
Don't hesitate to ask the question and answer, whatever it might be. It is a learning stance. See, it depends on what you wanted to bring and how phase out the changes which you want to adopt into the market condition is a major role. So don't hesitate to ask the questions. I'm open for what the questions you ask. So I'll give a justification for the questions which you ask. So you can ask me the questions and you can put me into the chat box. I'll view the chat box also. Yes. Yeah, I have a question from Sneha. Sir, after engineering, is it good choice to choose a business analytics because it will be like choosing a total different course? See, it's not about a totally different course. After engineering, definitely you should be having extracurricular skills, which is intended to work in different organization. Tomorrow, you would have taken different engineering streams. It might be electronics, or it might be mechanical, or it might be computer science or chemical industry. So getting into the desired state of job and what the qualification or specialization which you have chosen in engineering, definitely you should be able to cope up with the derived expression what the company or organization is looking into. So in order to cope up with the business operation which that company or the organization which is having its own views and perspectives, definitely you should be able to understand the requirements of that organization and definitely you should be able to cope up with the derived expression what the company or organization is looking into. So in order to cope up with the business operation which that company or the organization is looking into, definitely you should be able to understand the
Sir, you
requirements
aren't
of that
audible, sir.
organization.
Hello. Hello. Sir, you are muted, sir.
No, yeah, fine, fine. I hope I got the student got an answer to that. So any other question? Yeah, fine. Students who ask the questions is highly appreciable. I always say that you should be open for discussion. Then only it is a thing that you'll be taking the things into the existence of what you are looking into. See, basically, I'll again say to that, as she said about an engineering. Basically, if you want to bring out or choose a path in business and techs, definitely you should be having a sufficient depth of skills which is required to sustain into the organization stance. If I take myself as an example, I'm also an engineering graduate. My basic qualification is BA mechanical. Then afterwards, I did MTech, then MBA, then PGDF. So all it is necessity is not about to take a qualification into existence. How you are able to deliver the reality of expression what an industry is looking into depends on the nature is about your logical expressions of skills which is brought into existence. So to derive that skills into existence, definitely business analytics has brought its views and thought process into the derived condition of today's world. Yes, you are very thing which business analytics is very essential in today's state of consignment. Any other question?
Yes, Rafi, here we are providing certifications, and along with certifications, we are providing placement assistance to our students who are enrolled in job-oriented courses. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Any other questions, students?
Yeah, definitely. As you said, sir, whatever the certification courses which comes into existence and how the skill desire is doing its views and thought process in today's market condition, definitely it is a feather in cap for all the areas which students register into. So when you want to, as an engineer, as an MBA graduate or a BSc graduate or a medical graduate, which comes into existence, this business analytics course with a certification program which you have adopted, which you have pursued and taken the certification, definitely it is a feather in cap. When you enter into different organization, it will create a value for you. So what you can best cater and what is required for today's condition by with your course of action which you have learned during the course will majorly projected when you join an organization into different stances. So certification and learning the things into desired sense is a basic state of application which comes into the desired state of today's world. Any other question?
Yeah, sure, Rafi. You can browse our website. In that website, every details are mentioned clearly. and you can contact the number I am going to share. Okay. So you can contact that number, you can get all the details. Okay. Sir, like as you said, you are from engineering background. For suppose engineering graduate want to choose his career in business analytics, what are the key skills he need to have?
Sir, key skills is about they need to be work on the data process of action and different stages of business operation features, how they have to think on business modeling and how they need to capture the analytical expressions or how the business goes into expression. So tomorrow an engineering graduate will start up his own industrial setup with an entrepreneurship development. He or she should be having a state of application to deliver the things into the business model also. It's not about only the technical or non-technical features which comes into its existence. They should be having sufficient state of application what they need to bring out or what is required for their own business also stays a major role into it. So in order to get a sufficient state of expression, what is required, what is not required, how you need to channelize the phase of induction, definitely analytics is having its own thought process to bring it into reality. That is the major part of this reality which takes it into consideration. Any other question?
Sir, Python or anything or any added advantages like data science?
Yes, definitely. To enumerate the expressions of data summarization, or enumerate the overall views and thought process of data progressions or data mining or data overall summarization, you should be having a sufficient and the basic depth of knowledge with respect to the application of C language, Python, and what you call it as a statistical model or a non-technical called as Excel is also required. There are a number of applications which business analytics is having. One or the other area which you concentrate that makes you to take your specialization view to take it into that process of action. So all the combined state, each and individual is having its own views and thought process to what its reality. But anyone, if you get specialized, that is more sufficient in today's condition.